What's up? What's up? I'm Renz Davis, and this is
Vincent MMA Live. What's up, guys?
well, welcome to ChatCOMBAT. We have a very special guest today with Xavier. How do you pronounce your last name? I'm sorry to ask.
My last name is Alaoui, so Xavier Alaoui. What's up, guys?
Knew it. I was right, Vincent.
He was right, my man, thank you for being on. It's really a huge honor. You're an amazing
My
fighter.
pleasure.
Can you maybe tell us, you just, in my mind, you're already a great fighter, but you're also kind of like an upcoming fighter. You need to get more attention because people need to know you.
It's true. I mean, this game, there's so many talented guys and a lot of guys with skills, good fighters, but unfortunately, it's there's not enough marketing around the sport, and often guys they go unnoticed. So yeah, definitely,
I'm sure
looking
you're.
to put on the show.
I'm sure you won't go unnoticed. You just signed a new contract, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, so I just signed with the UAE Warriors. So we'll be fighting September 25th in Abu Dhabi against Jarez Dea, which is their local guy, their local boy over there. He's 7-2. He's a very physical guy, but I don't think he's on my skill set.
Nope.
No, I don't think so either. Maybe he's physically, stronger. He looks physically, very strong, but I don't think in terms of skill, I don't think he will be a match for you.
No, I'm positive. Once I touch that right hand on the chin, things are gonna change for him.
I mean, looking at your record, I can definitely imagine you're gonna go for the submission, right? Definitely get the choke out, put him down.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I see it go. I'm telling you, I'm either gonna knock him out very quick, or it's gonna be a grueling TKO or a grueling submission. I like to let the hands go. Yeah, but he's short. I think he's a little shorter too. He might have some long arms, but I'm definitely gonna put this guy out with either a KO, TKO submission.
Do you think it's gonna be your most difficult match so far? Or do you think you already faced your most difficult match?
Well, you know what? I don't like to look down and to not take guys seriously. So I'm expecting one of the hardest fights I've been through. But I've been hanging in there with guys that are in the top 50. I mean, I've fought Shamil Chagbulatov, Josh Hill, and I've only lost split decisions. So I've been toe to toe with these guys, and some of them were controversial decisions. So I think that I've never lost unanimously. And then never did I lose when all judges agreed. All judges were always.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's also a shame in my opinion. Sometimes I really think, and that's the same with fights that you had. Really, that I think this guy didn't lose. It was so close. At least call it then a draw or something like that. But don't give the other guy a win just because you want to give somebody a win.
Probably the worst feeling, man. It's probably the worst feeling. But you know what? That makes you. I'm telling you, that stuff like that made me just mean. Made me worse, bro. Can't wait to get in that cage.
I see it,
absolutely, man.
I see it on you, my man. You really seem, fired up for this.
Hell yeah, big time.
You look like you go almost 10 rounds right now, man. Jeez, amazing. Your energy is rubbing off on me, man.
Thanks.
I feel like if you go 5 rounds, I don't know if I can keep up with that. You're you're a very good guy, man.
Thanks. Thank you.
Is there any thing in it? First of all, why did you start, training in MMA, and how did you start? How did you come across, an MMA gym?
Well, so I started with judo when I was 5 years old, and growing up, you get into those kind of little street fights and everything. And I always thought that I could beat these guys I see on TV because I didn't know much about MMA, but I was like, man, I'm doing judo. I thought judo was the shit. I was like, I can beat these guys on TV. And then once I signed up to an MMA gym when I was 16, and I realized it was much harder than I thought. Way much harder. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that goes for me too. I was 16, 17 also when I joined an MMA gym. And before that, I'm from the Netherlands. So here, kickboxing is very, very popular here. So, I thought that was, I did Kyokushin karate, since I was 7 or something like that. And then I did kickboxing, and then, MMA, the groundwork, that really changes the game.
Yeah, but I think that Dutch kickboxing comes from Kyokushin Kai.
Yeah, totally right.
Originally.
Indeed.
I forgot the name right now, but it was one guy in the Netherlands who really, made kickboxing how you see it today. He saw that boxing was amazing, and he mixed the Kyokushin kicks with it, and then you got kickboxing.
Yeah, Yeah, and they went to Thailand too, right? These guys, they went to Thailand.
Yeah.
They used a bit of Muay Thai. Yeah, Dutch kickboxing is pretty much the best
Yeah.
kickboxing there is around. Yeah.
If you look
Absolutely.
at, for example, rest in peace, Ramon Dekkers. Do you know him?
Yes.
That guy, he beat even the Thais at their own sport. Under Muay Thai rules, he beat them all the time. He was the first Western guy to do that. That guy was a phenom. It's sad that he passed away. So early in life. It was only 43, 42 or 43. But that was really like one of the guys. Peter Arts. We have so many big names in the Netherlands.
Yes.
But
big time.
when you started out in MMA, did you enjoy it right away? Did you right away wanted to compete in it? Or was it something that you maybe trained for a few years and then you found out that you were so good at it?
So I trained to compete. So I trained. I was looking to most guys when they start MMA, they're a bit loose cannons. They're like, oh, I just want to get in a cage. I just want to fight. So I started.
Let me bang, bro.
Yeah. Let me exactly. Let me bang. And so I started training, and I got my first fight a year after.
Oh, 1 second. We don't see you anymore. Did you?
Dude, this is the best game of peekaboo ever, man. Please don't do the Mike Tyson peekaboo, though. That'd be wild.
Oh, my man, you pressed your camera off. Well, 1 second. Xavier? Can you still hear us, my man?
Yeah. That's it.
Okay,
All right.
Go.
So yeah, I was so basically I was training to compete, right?
Yeah.
And over time, in under like 2-3 months, they realized I came from an intensive judo background, so I was on the Canadian judo team. So I started with good takedowns, good ground and pound. So it was quick before I started competing, and I racked up a pretty good amateur record early. I got to 11-1 in amateurs, and it took me like a year and a half, 2 years, and then I was looking for my pro debut. So I went pro at like at 22, I think I went pro. So I started training at 16 and like more like 17, 19.
How many
18,
amateur fights did you have then?
12.
12, all right.
Yeah, I went 11-1 amateur.
That's excellent.
That for an amateur record, that's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I also think it might have been too long because a lot of guys don't even do amateur and they go pro right away.
Yeah.
And the more you fight, the more you realize a fight is a fight. Whether it's amateur, it's pro, a fight is a fight,
Yeah, I get what
Absolutely.
you mean. Would you maybe say, that those amateur matches, maybe you were more prepared than other guys that went pro, like like right away?
Yeah, exactly. It helped me prepare, but at the same time, I don't know. If I was to do it again, maybe 4 or 5 fights, and then I would have. I would.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
But it's a risk though. If you go pro, you don't have to get like a normal job anymore. So it's a risk.
That's true. That's very true.
I mean, definitely an important thing is like you always matched your professional record to what your amateur record is. So that's definitely something to look at as well. Like cumulatively speaking, you have like if you take away the word amateur and professional, you have, what is it, 22 victories and then just like 3 kind of like losses.
Yeah, 21-4.
4 losses.
21-4. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you just have to take away amateur and professional because in the end, all these people that go in there, they're prepared to like fight and do business.
Exactly. Sometimes it's even worse than amateur.
No, dude, I tell you what, man. Amateur, I imagine, is something like this. They have something they want to prove so bad that they want to get to the next step. Once you're a professional, it's like, okay, I've already proven at the amateur level. Now is my time to shine.
Yeah, you see some people, when you watch amateur fights, you see some people you know, they you know, at amateur fights, they, you know, they are out there to kill each other, you know. But at the pro level, sometimes, you know, they play it safe. If you look at Usman versus George Masvidal, for example, Usman really played it safe. You know, he just, you know, he grabbed a hold of him, you know, and he kept.
He only went
30%. Yeah, he only went 30%. You know,
perfect example.
Yeah, you know, but. Do you also, you know, what is your, you know, of you know, Rance and I know, but, you know, for the viewers, what is your, if you had to describe your fighting style, what was it, you know, what is your fighting style?
Man, I'm honestly, man, I'm a freestyle fighter, meaning that, like, yeah, I like ground and pound, I like submissions, I like to take guys down and beat them down and submit them through punching and submissions, but I don't mind standing up with them, you know what I mean? I stand up with those guys. I got a big right hand. I mean, I find that I don't mind anywhere it goes, but obviously the best position in MMA is to be on top of somebody, right? There's way less risk when you're on top of someone pounding him and him having no power from the bottom. So yeah, if I got to choose, I'd rather be on top of someone because it's just an advantage. It's an advantage, right?
It's also safer, you know, because, you know, doesn't matter how good you are, you know, everybody can get caught, you know, by a shot that you don't see coming. And if you're on top, you know, that's not likely. Do you also, you know, because you train at Tristar, you know, if you look at the guys, you know, they are also very famous for their jiu-jitsu. You know, if you look at, you know, the jiu-jitsu of you know, you're a brown belt too, right?
Yeah, we're brown belt. Soon to be black, brown belt, soon to get my black belt too.
Congratulations! Oh, you know, that's awesome, man. That's excellent. You know, that's great. You know, if you, you know, jiu-jitsu, you know, your guard, you know, must also, you know, be amazing. You know, so do you think, you know, some people have, if you look at the 10 Planet guys, for example, you know, their guards, you know, are crazy guards sometimes. You know, do you also think that some people are more dangerous off their back than they are, you know, being on top?
Okay, yeah, you have fighters that are more dangerous on their back than on top, but honestly, for MMA, like the jiu-jitsu we practice at TriStar is a very positional jiu-jitsu. So we practice a lot of positioning for fighting. So we make sure that we are often we have the gravity advantage with us, you know what I mean? Yeah. The hips are over the hips, the head is over the head. We make sure that we're on top. Like, I mean, if we're on our back and in our guard, it's sweep, submit, or get up, like right away. We don't try to waste time off our back because you're losing on your back. You know what I mean? Even if like you're attacking at 20 submissions and the guy's throwing 5 punches, the judges are probably going to give it to him, you know?
You know, I also
that's wild.
Yeah, you know, that's also, you know, a shame sometimes in my opinion, because some guys, you know, they you know, hold the guy down and they elbow, you know, from their back, you know, and or they attack like you know, and the guy on top, you know, doesn't do anything. It isn't trying to press the guard. He isn't punching, you know.
Yes.
He wins, you know, and that sometimes that's for me, you know, hard to watch because, you know, I also love watching jiu-jitsu, but you know, like you said, you know, bad jury decisions, they do happen, you know.
Well, it's because this is new. The style you're talking about is very new. For a guy to elbow from his back, control with a triangle, do stuff like that, that's very new to MMA. It's like now guys are starting to realize you can do stuff like that. If you have a good guard, control properly, yeah, you can land elbows from the guard and actually probably win the fight from there. Like this dude, what's the guy's name who knocked out the guy from his body,
Tony Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson did that?
No.
Anderson Silva did it as well. He did it in, I think, Brazil. Jungle Fights.
He got the guy in a triangle, but that new guy, the hybrid, Nico Price.
Oh, yeah, dude, yes.
That was amazing.
That was brutal, man.
Yes. So it's a new style, man. Like it's, you know, the sport.
It's definitely a renaissance, that's for sure.
Yeah, the sport evolves. So the judges have yet to adapt to somebody being dominant off his back, because usually they're just like, oh, the guy's on his back, they're the ones on top, you know. But yeah, no, definitely.
But in most cases, you know, like you said, you know, it's a safer bet to be on top. You know, you can do so much more.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
But you know, that's totally true. You know, but that's with a lot of things. You know, if you look at Tristar and John Danaher, for example, you know, if you look at his leg lock system, you know, that's also very new. And you see like these jiu-jitsu matches, you know, that his purple belts, they beat other black belts, you know, from different schools just with leg locks. You know, it's crazy.
You know these guys, Ethan Krillenstein and Olivier Taza?
Yeah, no last one.
Okay, so you know these dudes, they were white belts. They trained for 2 years, like 3 times a day. They train for like an extent, like crazy amount of time for 3 years, for 2 to 3 years. And now they're tapping out all the black belts. They're animals. They go to the blue basement with John Danaher. And man, I'm telling you, man, Ethan was like a twig, man. This guy, you would make a pretzel with him. And now this guy makes a pretzel with you.
That's salted.
Yeah.
You know, Rance is also a leg logger. He lost that.
What can I say, man?
You like
I guess, absolutely, man. I do Gracie Jiu-Jitsu myself, but I found a lot of people do the entire 4 stages of the fight. I like to look at it more like, okay, there's stages, but I'm ready to just kind of play around, see what I can get. I don't mind getting tapped out.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised. A lot of people make this really interesting face when they get caught in a leg lock. It's like they miss the bottom step going downstairs, like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, dude.
You know,
I've seen that face.
You know, in my opinion, it does work great, you know, against guys who, you know, have a wrestling background, because, you know, when you go for around the hip area, you know, they sprawl and then you can get their legs, you know, that's
100%. Yes, you go inside Ashy.
Yeah,
big time, big time. Especially against wrestlers, because they don't know what they're doing with their legs either. And why I like the legs more also, because I got a few leg submissions in MMA. It's bigger than an arm, so you have more grip on the leg than an arm.
Absolutely, man.
And I also can't yank it out, you know, as fast. You know, an arm, when you're sweaty, you know, sometimes you can yank it out, you know, in MMA.
Exactly.
You know, is there something, you know, that you love most, you know, about MMA, you know, in terms of, you know, is there a favorite thing, you know, you like to do? Because, you know, some things are hard, you know, like dieting and things like that, you know, nobody likes that. But is there something that you know, really enjoy, you know, some part about MMA, or maybe multiple parts about MMA?
Man, you know what? I'm starting to like MMA more and more with time, because I'm stress-free. I have my gym. My life is good.
Yeah.
So I don't get those anxiety and the nerves and anything before the fight, because I'm actually doing it to fight. I'm actually now I'm competing. I just want to fight. I just want to compete. I mean, at 35, 36, you're done. You know, I've got 5-6 years left in the sport. So I just want to make the most of it. And I enjoy competing, man. I just enjoy being in there and actually getting to not prove yourself, but getting to evaluate your skill level.
You're willing to step in there, absolutely.
Yeah, you also see what kind of person you are, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
You also, you know, have this gym. What is it called? You know, 360 Punts. You know, can you tell us a little bit more about that and the viewers?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a boutique boxing gym where we teach boxing with no contact, and we do conditioning. So we're very big on the conditioning part. So we like to get people in shape. We like to get people performance. You know, I trained with John Chamberg and Chris Pommier for 10 years. So I brought all their techniques, all their methods of conditioning, which I think is key in fighting, because at some point when skills are matched, the guy that's the most athletic, the guy that really wants it the most, that the heart goes for the longest, that can recoup that can stay in the red zone the longest and then go back down to his gray zone quick. Those guys are the guys that make a difference when you're at a high level, because at a high level everybody knows how to fight.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta have that grind to get in there.
Yeah, I would not want to have to fight, you know, anybody in the higher organization, even Bellator, you know, or UFC. Yeah. Everybody knows how to do anything.
I mean, I probably wouldn't last very long, and I probably wouldn't do very well, but I mean.
Oh yeah, you know,
I'll scrap.
That's it, because you want it, bro. That's
you know, I would spar with anyone. You know, you know, if
I would get demolished, but I'd be like, hey, fuck it, I'll have a story to tell.
Yeah,
that's the good news. Maybe I'll get a drink afterwards.
You know what? If every fighter had that mentality, they would enjoy fighting more.
That's true.
Dude, I tell you what, man. I think what is it? The GOAT, Artem Lobov.
Oh,
I don't like his fighting style too much, but I like his mentality. He's like,
mentality is great.
I'm in, I'll fight.
Yeah. You know, and I also
Golden Glove boxer, I'll take him on.
I also
Jiu-Jitsu black belt, fucking right.
I also like that about Cerrone. You know, Donald Cerrone also has that mindset. You know.
Oh, he does it way better though. He does it way better.
Yeah. Cerrone's been through a lot of shit. You know, so he doesn't care anymore. He just gets in there. He's like, I'll drink a beer.
And he can still do it. You know, you know, every time that he fights, you know, he can still land that head kick. Don't you worry. You know, if I saw the guys that he sparred with, you know, and he knocked them sometimes he knocked them out. You know, I'm like, he can still do it if he wants to.
Yeah, big time.
You know,
out of curiosity, Xavier,
yes.
has there been any like particular highlights with your judo career? Like, I'm not sure if you've heard of him, but Jimmy Pedro, perhaps?
Okay, yes. So Pedro's been to Shidokan when I was a kid. He used to
Very
come
nice.
and he used to give a seminar at the National Canadian Club, and he trained Rick Hahn. So I know Rick Hahn from Tristar, and I know Rick Hahn also from judo as well. I know Rick Hahn from both because Rick used to come to Shidokan with Jimmy Pedro back then, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And oh no, isn't James Morris? Anyways, I know Rick Hahn from Jimmy Pedro. That's what
it is. James Morris.
Indeed.
It is James Morris, you know, I think, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, Jimmy Pedro is a very nice guy, man. I had the chance to train with him at a seminar once, and like I wasn't expecting it, but he was like, "All right, I need a volunteer." I'm like, "I'm in." He's like, "All right, I need you to just kind of hold me here. I'll hold you there." I was like, "Okay," and then I just kind of look away from him, and I was like, "Whoosh!" I'm like, "Do it again."
Yeah,
let's do it again.
Yeah,
you know, but
I don't know what he hit me with, but it was.
You know, that's
amazing.
the crazy thing about, you know, like the judo guys, you know, and these wrestling guys, you know, so you can have the best takedown defense, but you know, if you have these explosive guys, you know, before you know it, you know, you're up in the air, you land on your ass, you know. It's
yeah, man.
Big time. Yeah, good wrestlers usually use judo. So like the best wrestlers usually have some judo tricks, some judo finesse that they use. You know?
you know, you also see that with Khabib. You know, he uses sambo.
Yes.
That's also, in my opinion, you know, if you look at what makes him great, is his ability, you know, to chain takedowns together, because he goes, you know, for a classic double leg, and the guy's defense, you know, he knows how to defend it, but all of a sudden, you know, he throws a judo throw in there or something like that, you know.
Yes.
And the guy can't combine different defenses in time, you know, and then he's already on his back, you know, and it's crazy to watch.
Yeah, wrestling transition. He transitions the wrestling and the judo and everything beautifully. Yeah, that's very, very sambo, like you say, because the guys, they need it. Since they box up, you know, they box and they kick, they have to transition from one move to another if they want to get the takedown. So it's very similar to MMA. Sambo is pretty much the closest part to MMA.
How did you, by the way, end up at Tristar?
How'd that end up at Tristar?
Yeah.
So I was training. So my whole amateur career I did outside of Tristar, except for my 3 last fights. So I got my 3 last fights with Tristar. You know, in Montreal, a lot of people are they're hesitant to go train there. They, you know, often when there's a big dominant place, when you train somewhere, your coach is going to tell you not to go there. Your coach is going to say, this and that. And it makes no sense, because all the talent in Canada is at Tristar. And we also have international talent, most talents in the world. So
absolutely.
So it's possible, you know, to have, as a regular guy, you know, just to go in there and train.
Yeah, of course it is, man. We have you won't be able to do the pro sparring, but you're going to be able to, you're going to be able to grapple with all these pros. Like grappling, no problem. You're going to be able to do all these classes, even touch sparring, man.
That's an honor. You know, that's an honor for me.
Yeah, you do touch sparring with all the pros, bro. That's a regular thing. And then if you're good enough, Faraz has this very, very systematic way to train guys. So when you're on the level, then he'll invite you to pro sparring. So he'll see you roll, he'll see you do touch sparring, and then I'm like, you know what, this guy's good. Come Saturday at 1 p.m.
Vincent, let's book our tickets. Come Saturday, man.
Yeah.
No, you know, but
come on, chop.
You know,
it's Tuesday now, man.
You know, I've done, you know, jiu-jitsu competition, and I've done some kickboxing, you know, and I'm gonna have, you know, my first MMA fight. I'm gonna also have that.
Nice.
You know, and I'm taking no privates, you know, it's going to be months, you know, also after all this Corona shit, you know, went away, you know, that also needs to go away. But, you know, I'm also planning about a year or something, you know, to visit America, you know, to visit Rance, you know, because he's in America, and visit all these guys that we have interviewed. And I also want to visit, you know, Nick Drosers in Montreal. So, you know, I would love to also step by Tristar. But like I said, you know, sometimes you're hesitant because, you know, you don't want to you know, interrupt, you know, any important training there or something like that.
Man, Vincent and Reds, you guys are always welcome to come to Tristar. I'll make sure you guys are welcome the right way. I'll introduce you to Faraz and everything.
Awesome. Thank you very much, man.
Where do you live, Reds?
I live in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, so you're not.
Yeah, it's not that far off. It's like
that's also.
Actually, it's kind of wild that you know where New Hampshire is. Most people say, "Oh, okay, that's like where is that again?" It's like I'm north of Boston. I am north of Massachusetts. That's where I was like, "Oh, okay, I know where Massachusetts is. Boston, Beantown."
Yeah, but that's awesome. When I visit Rents, we can just hop over the border. It's not
absolutely, man. Hop, skip, and a border away, man.
Yeah, for me, it's now.
It's not even that bad.
There's an entire ocean now between us.
Oh, no. I mean, once you get here, it'll be a hop, skip, and a swim away in that case.
Yeah.
But
build that cardio, buddy.
Yeah, by the way, that's also a good topic. That's also something I want to ask. What are, in your opinion, the top let's say the top 5 cardio exercises for MMA?
For MMA, the top 5 cardio exercises are sparring. No, but in all
wait, you forgot the last one. More sparring.
Yeah. So in all seriousness, sparring is number 1 for sure. And if you want to build up the other type of cardios, it's about getting your heart rate to rest quick. So interval trainings where you're really going to get to the red zone. So that means when you're in your 90% capacity and going back down. So you have to count the time it takes you to go back down. And you have to get your heart used to going back down because MMA is a short burst sport. It's rare you see guys going like Clay Guida and Diego Sanchez. Very rare. You know what I mean? Usually it's an explosion, few punches, few kicks, a takedown attempt, and then you coast a bit for like 20 seconds. So it's like all about getting that heart rate down fast and back up, down fast and back up until you burn that other guy out because you're fighting someone. You're not doing cardio for endurance against yourself. You're not doing cardio for 15 minutes. You're doing it against someone. So you want to burn that person out. So you're trying to beat his heart with your heart.
Yeah,
definitely a more anaerobic style of thing.
Yeah,
because like you said, it's not like you're doing a marathon where you got to pace yourself for like an exact pace to get the marathon done. It's more like, like an obstacle course. Like you have to pace yourself to exactly what you need energy for, and then try and rest up a bit.
Yeah.
Except the obstacles can hit you back.
Yeah,
they can submit you.
But that's also
the best obstacle course ever, man.
That's also why MMA is the most exciting sport in the world because it can go so well for one guy and then he gets head kicked, and it's over. But that's also, I think, like if you look at running, for example, I don't like running because my right knee, injuries and things like that. I can't run, for like a marathon. Yeah, I can, but if I do that for like a year, my knee is gonna blow out. But if you look at sprinting, I always think, that sprinting is way better for MMA. Keep on walking, keep on like jogging, but then sprint, then stop, sprint and stop.
Exactly, for sure. And like you'll go to Thailand and the Thais, they like to run a lot.
Yeah,
they like the road work indeed.
Yeah, but man, it's very depends on your opinion. I don't believe it really helps you with your cardio. I believe it just helps them lose weight and condition their shins. But no, like you said, sprinting, like hill sprints, stuff like that. Rest up, sprint it back, rest up. And man, there's nothing better than sparring because sparring, you're put under pressure. Because like it or not, there's a lot of brain activity involved in fighting. So your cardio also depends on how calm and how you can have a peace of mind in all this chaos. Because if you're like freaking nervous and breathing heavy and like kind of like stiff in your shots, then you're gonna gas out quick. But if you're just looking for that target, you're just looking for that opening, you're looking to hurt that guy, and you're not stressed. You can just get out the way. Punches don't phase you. Kicks don't phase you. You're just out of the way of them. That makes it easier to breathe through.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Do you also think like that, when you need to survive, when somebody, when somebody clipped you, do you also have that mindset, like, oh, eyes open, see the shots coming,
Yeah, you have to, man. It's like my mentor, Christoph, always tells me, you're almost like an animal in survival state. If you get hit, you get clipped, then it doesn't matter what you do. He always gives me the example of Tito Ortiz running around the cage when he got rocked. He goes, people laugh at him for that, but he managed to survive and win the fight. Like, it's like, even if you get clipped and you're gonna run and like an animal, you're gonna figure out a way to just get back to your senses and get back in the fight. It's a fight, man.
But you know, most people that are hating on people, you know, who do that, you know, they are, you know, I call them casuals, you know, like people, you know, like people that, you know,
clean casuals, absolutely.
You know, people that only watch, you know, McGregor fight once or twice a year, and then, and you know, and then they.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
But, you know,
it's true.
Yeah, you know, it's just those people, you know, I don't think much of them, you know, but those are the same people that think, you know, that movie fight scenes work in real life. So.
yeah, exactly. They think, oh, why didn't you just knock him out?
They don't? I thought
no
they
rats.
did.
No rats. They
oh
don't.
God, my whole world's a lie. Earth is flat. Damn it, man.
But you know, is there also something? Do you also think that Tristar is the best MMA gym in the world, or do you think, you know, that there are other gyms that are also as good?
Well, you know what, man? I think that talent is everywhere in the world. There are other gyms that are as good, but Tristar definitely is up a notch on the grappling aspect of MMA. Also, now I'm telling you guys, Firas changed his whole approach, his method to training, and we might take back everything we need to take, because the way we're training now is like MMA oriented only. Like, you don't even hear about grappling, you don't even hear about kickboxing. It's MMA, man. I'm telling you, it's small gloves, no shin pads, no headpiece, no headgear.
Oh, I like that.
It's MMA, you know, it's the real stuff that we're doing every day. And it's like, when you wear headgear and gloves, there's this much to cover that you don't need to cover, right? You have your headpiece, you have your headgear, you have your gloves, so you have like about I don't know, an inch or two that you need to actually be closer to the guy in the real fight. You're also blocking shots in an unrealistic manner, but with the small gloves and no headgear, you're actually finding your target. It doesn't mean that we knock each other out, it doesn't mean that we're trying to kill each other.
Makes sense.
But it means that, like, you're actually really fighting, and you're not grappling like jiu-jitsu for jiu-jitsu. If you're grappling, it's because the other guy has gloves on, you have gloves on, you're trying to shoot a takedown, you're trying to keep him on the ground, you're trying to finish him. Man, the best example for that, Firas even mentioned it. He said, I was talking with him, and he told me about the football teams, the NFL, and how they used to make guys bench press, snatch weights, explode in sprints. And then one day, there's a guy who was like, whoa, hold up. Let me make my players run plays, catch balls, throw the balls to each other, run plays. And that team, I'm not sure which team it is. I think it's the 49ers. I'm not sure. Yeah. And they actually won from that, you know. And it was a university professor who said, let me actually make them practice football, not practice.
No, only to, you know, you have like this guy on YouTube. I don't know if you know him. You know, his name is Ramsey Dewey. We hope to have an interview with him too. You know, he's also, you know, he lives in Shanghai, China. You know, he moved from the States, but that guy also is really talks, you know, about only doing exercises, you know, that benefit your performance. You know, some people, you know, that they like, you know, they run a lot, you know, and he says, you know, instead, you know, if you want better cardio, also, you know, spar bar, do more heavy back work. You know, only do stuff that benefits, that you also do, you know, in sport.
Exactly. So that's exactly it. We run interval trainings where, yes, we're gonna spar, we're gonna do the whole MMA thing, but like you said, we might hit the bag and then 1 minute grappling, 1 minute hitting the bag, 1 minute grappling, 1 minute hitting the bag. Exactly it.
You know, but also training without shin pads, you know, I really, you know, as crazy as it may sound, you know, I really like that, because with shin pads, you know, I can just, you know, kick away without, you know, worrying about without worrying about my ankle or my shin. But if I don't have shin pads on, you know, then I really have to place my kicks, you know, on the leg, or place my kicks that I don't run into an elbow or so.
Exactly. And when you grapple, I mean, it's like the fight. The guy's not going to kind of squeeze your shin pad with your leg. He's going to actually have to hold that leg. You can lift leg out. You can do everything. Yeah, man. That's it. So the approach is much more MMA oriented, and it's going to make a huge impact. We just started it, you know. Like, I'm telling you, it's going to make a huge difference. I just feel I feel so much cleaner, so much meaner. Like, everything I'm aiming, I'm touching, it's completely different. I feel like a different fighter.
You know, that's amazing, man. You know, amazing to hear. I think you have you really have like great, you know, like future ahead of you. If you look at,
absolutely.
I really think you can be, if you look at the training that you do, if you look at, your record, I really think you could be one of the greatest,
Thank you, man. I mean, I'm going for that. Like I said, I enjoy it. I'm doing it to compete. I'm doing it to enjoy it. I'm doing it to beat up guys that are put in front of me. I want to, I want all the smoke, bro.
What's your mindset?
Let him bang, bro.
Let him
Breadman in town.
But what is your mindset, by the way? Like, if you jump into that cage, are you aggressive? Are you focused? Are you, calm? Do you want to stay calm? Because some guys, they really want to have, they almost picture that opponent in front of them that they want to hurt their family or something. They want that aggressiveness.
I think you named all three. It's a calm, focused aggression. You know what I mean? That's exactly it.
It's kind of like the difference between Chuck Liddell versus Mirko Krokop versus Wanderlei Silva. You have three different personality types.
Yes.
One that looks like a cold-blooded killer, one that, pretty much is a cold-blooded killer, and then one that just likes to go, yeah, man, we go to fuck Chuck, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to want to hurt the guy. You have to be calm, and you have to be focused. You said all three, man. Calm, focused, aggression. There's no way you're going to get around the aggression part. It doesn't mean you want to kill the guy or his family, but if you're trying to get around the aggression part, then you shouldn't even be in the cage, because some guys can beat you up just with aggression. It doesn't matter how good you are. You can be the best fighter in the world. If you're not being aggressive, this guy could just fuck you up from throwing haymakers nonstop,
Yeah.
So you can't be scared of getting hit. You can't be scared of hitting the guy, but at the same time, you can't be a loose cannon. You have to be calm and focused. You have to be in the zone, man. Being in the zone, getting there. Like what I tell everyone all the time, all my young guys that I train sometimes, I tell them, guys, it's like you're at McDonald's. You're having food. You're drunk after the club. There's a fight. Are you going to fucking double think everything? You won't. You're just going to get into the fight. You know what I mean? You're at the club. Somebody touches your girl's ass. Are you going to ask him for 8 weeks? You're going to ask him to make the weight? No, you're going to beat that dude up.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. It's a fight. You shouldn't overthink it. You should just do what you're good at. And we're all trained for that, and we're just good at that. There's not too much overthinking.
I do think, they have, especially if you first fight, listen to your coaches. I think that's also really important, to train that. Because, because some guys, even in training, they do, they only do their own stuff, and they also do it in the ring, and it works for once or twice. But then, then it doesn't work, because the coach maybe is giving the best advice, but if you can't listen to that, that's hard.
I'm lucky to have Faraz. I'm lucky to have Faraz in my corner.
I get that.
He's always telling me crazy good stuff. Like I always remember stuff he tells me. Underhook here, right arm, but the way he says it, all right. You need also a good coach that says the right things, like not just get up. Like he'll tell me like left.
He definitely communicates very well. He definitely gives the right information at the right moments with the right particular wordings, which is really awesome.
Yeah, sometimes, you have like these coaches that are just shouting, like relax, just relaxed. And so, but, if you're, almost getting choked out and, and your coach isn't telling you, put the arm there, slip the arm in there, then, you're not getting out if you're, like in panic mode.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. So taking instructions is it's key. It's key in this sport, but unfortunately, that's probably one of the hardest things because a lot of guys, like you said, calmness. Your mind needs to be calm. You need to be calm and collected to be able to perform and listen. But a lot of guys, man, I've coached guys at fights, and it's like the complete opposite. You tell them like, listen, and these guys are they're not even hearing a thing, They're in their own thoughts, like the eyes are like that. They're like, and like they're fighting with their eyes open like that, and you can tell that they're not present.
But I get that. For like a first fight, I do get that. First, But on the other hand, sometimes you see like when I go to jiu-jitsu matches, you see like these 8-year-old kids, and they already are like phenoms in jiu-jitsu.
Little savages, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's the next generation, eh? That's the next generation. Get trained properly. That's amazing, bro. I swear I can't wait to see the fighters in 20 years from now.
Yeah, but I also think I really enjoy
it's gonna be wild.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. But I really enjoy, seeing these children, start with a grappling art, and then when they're 14, 15, 16, then mixing kickboxing, or striking art. Because, sometimes you see these young kids that are like 12-year-old kids, and they get brain injury, because of training, because of striking.
Like the CTE, yeah.
Yeah, so I really like it when when they start striking when they're a little older, not too old, of course, because then they're too old, to start in MMA. But start out with the grappling art when you're like 7, 8, 9 years old, and then start. I think that's the way to go, in my opinion, of course.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, there was a point you mentioned that you had a gym that you just recently started with. What was it called? The 365 place?
Yes, 360 Punch, yes.
Oh, 360 Punch. Like, I actually think that would be a very brilliant idea for kids to get into at the start, where they don't have to worry about getting hit, but they worry about getting
like, in competition, like...
no, absolutely. I agree with that for sure.
So, you know what I think for kids, man? Because I always tell my boys I got kids, I'm like, the two first arts you put your kids in are judo and taekwondo. Why? Because those are they're finesse arts. They're arts that require a lot of finesse. That means that taekwondo, the kids, like, are they really gonna knock each other out with head kicks at that age? No, because I don't even think they allow them to kick in the head when they're young. So you make the kids train in judo and taekwondo, so they develop these skills, these little foot sweeps, those spinning back kicks, the jumping kicks that like you can't really master as an adult. You master them as kids. And then you can transition when the kid is in age, you transition him from either taekwondo to boxing, I would say, or kickboxing, right? And then after you can transition from judo to wrestling, or of course jiu-jitsu. But jiu-jitsu is a thing you can teach any kid from any age, right? And so you teach those two arts because they have those little tricks that make good strikers excellent strikers, and good grapplers excellent grapplers. That's my take, that's my opinion, that's how I think. But definitely
I agree with that, but that's also, like I said, try to avoid the brain damage at an early age, I think, because sometimes you see these gyms, of course most of them aren't like that, but sometimes you see these 12-year-old kids, and they get hurt, really hurt in training, and then when they want to compete, their brain is already gone.
It's too late. It's too late.
Yeah,
it's
too sad to see.
I mean, at least it's not as bad as Russia. I mean, like some of the Eastern European places, they actually have like the displays of children that actually, like it's actually sanctioned, which is wild.
Yeah, I was there.
You saw that, huh, dude? Oh my God, how wild is that?
I was there.
Just see the kids.
I went to Chechnya, man, and I gotta tell you something. It's a culture of fighting, man, and
absolutely, man.
They're good, though. The children are great.
The good ones there killed all the other ones. That's how you gotta see it.
If they die, they die.
Yeah. The good ones are the ones who made it out every year and beat up everybody every year. Like, man, you go there, every single man over there knows how to kick, knows how to punch, knows how to wrestle. It's like, and they don't necessarily want to take it up professionally. It's just the professionals are just the best ones out of every year.
Yeah.
No. It's a culture of fighting over there.
But that's also, I think there are a lot less, like street fights over there, because if everybody knows how to fight, they all respect each other most of the time.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah.
Is there, by the way, are there like, what are your favorite, if you look at the UFC, just like take the best, like the biggest one, what are your favorite fighters, to watch, personally, as a fan?
As a fan, man, you're gonna find this cheesy, bro. I mean, on the skill set level, of course, all the guys are very good to watch.
Yeah.
I like guys. I like crazy fuckers like Mike Perry. I just
me too, man. Tony Ferguson is my favorite.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tony's a fucking mess. I mean, it doesn't mean I think they're the best. I think that they bring the fighting mentality. I like to see a guy going in there without the nerves, a guy who's not scared, not a guy who's in the back thinking like, oh, I need this paycheck. Oh, I don't want to get cut. Oh, everybody's watching. I like a guy who's just in there because he wants to fucking fight.
Yeah.
They walk in like Tyler Durden said, first rule, no rules. Second rule, we don't talk about it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like go in and brawl.
That dude would have been a good UFC fighter.
But I think, most, like fighters that really, make it big, they have that mentality of fuck it, they just, if you look at Khabib, that guy also has the mentality of fuck it,
100%. Never was he scared of McGregor's punches. He never was. He played it smart, but when it was time to throw, he threw his hands,
Yeah, but still, he did knock McGregor down, But I also, to be completely honest, I don't think that was the McGregor, like from the past. That does also, I don't think, he was on his best as he could have been. I think that fight, could have been better, but that doesn't take anything away from Khabib, because Khabib is, in my opinion, one of the greatest ever.
Yeah. Skill wise though, if I think who I like to watch for their skills, I'm trying to think, because everybody's talented, right?
Yeah.
Israel Adesanya is a good one. He definitely has to good display.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes. There we go. That dude is fun to watch.
Ooh, actually, Demetrius Johnson. My goodness, that guy is a madman.
Yeah. But also like, like somebody like George Masvidal, because it's also, I just like, like you said too, Xavier, like guys who bring something, that that's wild. If you see the Nate Diaz fight, that was wild. If you see Ben Askren, that one was short, but it was wild, And it's the same with Tony Ferguson, or I like these guys, who also come there to, to fight, not only. Of course, you can play it smart, but like if they have fun in there, they are already fun to watch.
Man, if you tell me that Masvidal is gonna cut weight back again to 155 and fight Ferguson, I'm paying for that.
I'd watch that.
But on the other hand, Tony can also move up.
Yeah.
But if I want to see Tony Ferguson versus Khabib for sure. Let's hope that one day happens.
Never going to happen.
But Rand, shut up, man. but
fake news not happening.
The fight that I really want to see right now, is something like like of course Khabib versus Justin is going to be a wild one, but maybe in the heavyweight, Stipe versus John Jones.
Oh yeah, my man Jones has been outclassing everyone forever. And I'm gonna tell you honestly, the whole PED thing, I don't know, man. I don't know. For me, the whole point, like, man, you're in a cage, you're fighting somebody. You should, if you're taking PEDs, you should go to jail, man. Because like you can take somebody's life, man. It's like an aggravated assault with a weapon. That's how I see it, bro. But everybody's got.
But people don't get that. They don't get how. How you're performing. You as a professional fighter, what would you say as somebody, if you had to, how much better would somebody be that was on steroids or drug, how people call it, PEDs?
Yes.
How much better is somebody?
Truth is, man, I can't even tell you, because I'm sure I train with guys. I've trained in my past with guys that take it.
Yeah.
And I probably haven't noticed a difference. I can't tell you. It definitely fucking for sure helps people, man.
Yeah.
But it's just, man, it's a herd business. You don't do that, You don't go to you don't bring a knife. I mean, you don't bring a gun to a knife fight, or opposite. You don't bring a knife to a fist fight. You know what I mean? I find it's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It reveals
horrible.
A lot of the person's character. It reveals a lot about somebody's character.
And that's also, because
I've kind of had a solution about this for a little bit myself. Like, what if they just had like two specific divisions, one for people that don't do PEDs and one that does? You'd have the freak shows versus the legitimacies.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. People who do PEDs are still going to try to say they don't do PEDs. To go
but the thing is, if they're just opening, I mean, look at Brock Lesnar.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big farm guy. I'm legitimately 290 pounds, pure muscle. I work out and drink milk. He probably eats the horse alive.
Yeah. I think they had a show that allowed it when he fought Alistair Overeem.
Yeah. He takes stuff that makes his fucking head grow.
Yeah.
But that I totally agree with you, Xavier. But that's also, you sign an agreement, that you're gonna, stick to the rules, don't do any, PEDs, and when a fighter, for example, I was a big fan of TJ Dillashaw, for example. When he got
heartbreaking,
for EPO, it was really, and I didn't hear like a single sorry for him. He didn't say, he didn't even, apologize for it. And I really dislike it because
okay, that's a good example, bro. That's a good example.
I think
so
Dwayne Ludwig is also great. You know, his trainer.
So I was training with him. I was training with Dillashaw when he was a champion. He came to Tristar for 2 weeks. We sparred and everything, and that's a fact. I can tell you, this guy would rarely get tired. Like, we would have some hella good rounds together, but he would rarely get tired, and it's true. I remember after every round, he always felt kind of fresher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So definitely, he came to Tristar while he was champion.
Yeah, so he was on that for sure. Back then.
Yes.
You know that's. You know, if you look at Michael Bisping, for example, he lost an eye because, you know, of that.
Of Vitor.
Vitor Belfort, yeah.
Michael Bisping to this day, he still says, you know, that steroids, you know, definitely definitely made that kick harder than it otherwise would have been.
Well, we should make the quick correction. It was a TRT exemption, not exactly steroids. So
yeah, you know,
just
but if you take,
a little
you
bit
know,
to Vitor's defense.
But I mean, imagine Vitor's experience.
Correct.
Yeah, imagine Vitor's experience. Vitor was what, 30 something.
Yeah,
he had the experience of a lion, and then you gave him the body of a young guy. You gave him the body of an 18-year-old.
You know, even better than that. But he had like, you know, 300 times the amount of, you know, that you normally have. You know, so then you're like a superhuman.
He also had 3 head kick knockouts in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, you know, definitely. So that's a good proof. That's a very good example.
You know, but it's just so sad, you know, because if you look at TJ Dillashaw, if you look at, you know, other guys, you know, they have the skill, you know, they have the great coaches, you know, they have the fan base, you know, why would you do it? You know, it's just, you know, now all those wins of him, you know, for some people, they don't matter anymore because
he loses, you know, legitimacy.
Yeah, indeed, you know, totally. You know, I'm really glad, you know, you're in it like this, you know, like you're honest with it, you know, you're like, do you know for Gegard Mousasi, do you know him?
Yes.
You know, that guy also is very much against steroids. You know, he's a Dutch fighter, you know, and I'm really big fan of him. I think he's the best Dutch MMA fighter out there right now. And, you know, he was in the UFC, you know, when it was still, you know, like a lot of guys still took them. And that's the reason why, you know, now it's better with, you know, with, what do you call it? You know, like Nevada?
USADA.
USADA, indeed. You know, like USADA. You know, like now it's better, but back in the day it wasn't. So he just left the UFC for Bellator because he said, you know, I can't handle it anymore. I don't want to fight guys who take steroids. You know, he's so much.
Well, you say it's better, but Gegard Mousasi was fighting at 185, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And what about Borashinia? You gonna tell me this guy?
Ooh.
I'm not sure. I'm not saying anything because maybe you have freaks out there.
Bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a hell of a freak. This guy's a monster, man. This guy's a freaking monster.
Another guy that eats the whole horse, man. Just saying.
Yeah. Drink a lot of milk. Drink a lot of that Brazilian milk.
I'm Brock Lesnar. I approve this message. Woo!
You know, even in Bellator, you know, like, what was he called? You know, Rafael, you know, like the black belt. He now,
Cavallo?
No, you know,
Cavallo.
The guy that has now, you know, like the brain.
Oh yes, yes. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. No, I know I know exactly who you're referring to.
Yeah, you know.
Yes.
You know, and Gegard Mousasi, you know, he fought him, he lost, you know, and against the BJJ black belt at that level, you know, he never got submitted, you know, and that was just amazing. He got out of a body triangle from the, you know, from behind, you know, that was amazing. But he said, you know, the amount of strength and energy that guy had in the grappling department, he said he had to take. And now, with the brain injury and everything like that, you know, now, you know, it's out there that he did take stuff, you know, illegal stuff.
For sure.
But, you know, it's weird that fighters can...
Lovato Jr. Is it Lovato Jr.?
Yeah, it is. You know, that's the guy.
There we go.
Yes.
But, you know, it's like... It's sad, you know. I always think it's sad because your legacy, you know, it's the same with John Jones, you know. Of course, there's stuff outside the gym, or outside the ring. But, I mean, also, you know, every time he gets caught for, you know, like a trace amount, people still will say, you know, he took stuff. Even though, you know, maybe it's a trace amount. But people... Yeah. Your legacy is gone most of the time.
Yeah, and you're hurting other people, man. It's also about like you're for me, it's a felony, bro. It's you're committing a big crime there. You're hurting somebody like that with products. It's not fair. We know what business we're getting into, so come on, guys. You know, don't be dirty.
I definitely think a good analogy would be is, you know, like if you're to think of fighting like driving. you really shouldn't be drinking and driving is
Yeah.
illegal.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
For me, it's the same as loading your gloves. You know, putting cement, you know, or something in there.
Oh, that's just
100%.
fucking
You know,
dirty,
it's just,
man.
yeah. By the way,
100%.
the
It's the
guy that we
same thing.
the guy that we just talked about, Ramsey Dewey. You know, he also fought professionally before he started. You know, he joined the gym or started training at or teaching at the gym. Let's say. That guy, you know, he has like a dent in his skull here, you know, like a real dent. When he pulls the skin back, you can see that. That's also because the last fight that he had, the guy had loaded his reps, you know, so it was like he was hitting him with a brick, he said. You know, and now he really misses a piece of skull here, you know, like the first layer of skull, it's gone there.
No, these guys shouldn't be fighters in the first place because they're scared people if they're loading up their gloves. See, loading up your gloves, taking steroids, those are things that there's just signs that mean that you're not built for this. You're not meant for this. You need that extra security in order for you to actually step up in there and then make you feel good about it.
It's horrible. By the way, you know, on a more, you know, cheerful note, do you also, you know, train with GSP sometimes?
Yes, I train with George. Yeah, George was showed me a lot of good things. Now he's been a little bit off the gym. I mean, doesn't mean he doesn't train, but he's more doing a bit of his own thing. But yeah, I train with George often.
Yeah,
we used to go to his we used to go to his gym, and we used to train on the weekend with him. He definitely helped me with a few holes in my game.
Yeah, that's amazing, my man. You know, but also, you know, I think it's also an honor, you know, to train with such legends. You know.
Yes.
Hopefully one day you're gonna be up there next to him, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You got fingers crossed for you, buddy.
Would you sign, you know, like, is there any organization that you would, you know, definitely sign a contract for, you know, in like, let's say, you know, in 2 years you're, you know, they like say the UFC or Bellator wants you, you know, is there an organization that you?
Don't forget ONE FC, buddy.
Or ONE FC, you know.
ONE FC is good stuff.
Yeah, I really like ONE FC.
I'm a prize fighter, so I'm not much of a guy that usually takes like I won't take down food thrown at me on the ground. So like I do like the UFC. Maybe their treatment of people is not always the best, but I do like them because they do have high level fighters. You know what I mean? I like the UFC. I like ONE Championship, Bellator as well. But man, that new PFL thing, I'm like
PFL. Yeah, you know, I love that.
And yo, honestly, PFL has some killers in there.
Yeah.
I just want to compete at the highest level. So obviously UFC is one of the leagues with the highest level of guys. So I just want to compete at the highest level. So anybody that they got to put somebody in front of me that I'm not going to put in a body bag, man.
Send location.
Send location, exactly. Anywhere, man, you know, that I'm going to get good treatment and
that's you know, I think that's for sure. You know, I love it when they take good care of their fighters because, you know, they make their money, you know, so they need to be taken care of. They need to be promoted. You know, we had like one championship fighter, Jeff Chen. I don't know if you know him. He went
to 5-star my friend, too. Jeff.
Yeah, you know, Jeff.
I cornered him.
Oh, you know, that's amazing.
Dude, get that down. That's wild.
Really?
I was cornering him in his last fight in Singapore. I went to Thailand with him in Singapore.
I was actually going to try and bring that up earlier. I was like, man, they're in the same neck of the woods. I wonder if he knows, like...
Yeah, you know, that was
Jeff
also
my boy.
You know,
that's funny, man.
That's crazy, my man. You know,
I should have asked it sooner, man.
I'm gonna watch that fight again. You know, I want to see you in that corner. You know,
I was telling him all that shit, bro. He was fighting. I was like, bro, everything went according to plan. Yeah. He's on top of that dude elbowing him. I'm like, you're fucking Jeff Chan, bro. I'm like, you're fucking superstar. Fuck this guy up. Oh, bro, it was so
Punch a hole in his fucking chest.
I swear, it was so good,
was it the fight in the, you know, like with the very silent...
it was the first ever card with no crowd.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, then you know, I heard somebody scream, but that must be you.
It was me. 100%, bro.
I'm gonna watch that again, man.
Watch it again. He even did a breakdown on his YouTube channel
I saw that too.
Where he explains everything that we drilled together. Because he was telling me he wanted to stand and bang with the guy. I was like, bro, listen, you're better than him striking, but from experience, I know where fights usually end up. So we drilled the sequence. He hit that sequence and he choked his ass out.
Yeah, you know, that's crazy, you know, but that's also, we had an interview with him earlier, you know, it's on the channel, you know, if you look at the Vincent MMA
Yes,
Live.
I'll go look it up.
Yeah, it's Vincent MMA Live, that's the channel called, you know, we post the interviews on there. And, you know, that was, you know, he's also blessed to talk to, but, you know, for a fighter, you know, he's like, he's such a calm guy, you know, such a friendly guy, you know. If you,
he's one of my best friends, honestly. Man. Me and this guy, we've been through a lot. Honestly, I love this guy.
That's great, my man.
I love Jeff, man. Jeff,
you know, I love that,
bro, you know what's up.
Shout out, MMA shredded.
I love that, my man. But, you know, I also talk about PFL, you know, I also love, you know, do you know Bas Rutten? We had
bro, who doesn't know Bas Rutten?
Yeah, of course. You know,
who the fuck is that guy?
We had an interview with him, you know, earlier this evening. And, you know, we were talking about him. He also does, you know, still does some commentary for PFL, you know, and I love that. You know, I love to hear his commentary. You know, I just love guys who are. I think, you know, you would also be good for commentary, my man, because you're very enthusiastic, you know, and you know your stuff about fighting. You know, so.
You definitely see you wearing a nice suit, doing the color commentary.
Yeah, you know, I think
you know what,
have like a Goldberg right next to you.
Bro, I'd like to be a ref at some point later in my career because I want to be in that action. I love that action, bro. I want to be in there. These guys swing, and I'm like, I swear.
You know,
so that's what it looks like up this close. Damn. I should probably stop this fight. There's been way too many shots given.
You know what I love about MMA? You know, almost every referee, you know, it has been or is, you know, it trains at MMA themselves.
Yeah.
So, you know, when one guy doesn't listen, you know, when he doesn't get off a guy, you know, he just takes his back, you know, like it's nothing. And you don't see that in any other sport, and I love that.
That's true. Well, soccer, I think in soccer, the referees used to play soccer back then.
Yeah. But I mean, like in combat sports.
Well,
you don't,
combat sport. No, the boxing.
I don't think you'll see like soccer refs do that kind of stuff. They'll usually just get a little pouty, pull out a card like, "This is for you."
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, you know, I like soccer. You know, it's like the most famous sport, you know, in the Netherlands and in Europe anyway. But I mean, it's not a sport for me most of the time in terms of, you know, I see a guy get kicked, you know, not hard, you know, it's nothing, and he falls down, you know, and he cries over his knee, and I'm like, you know, I've seen guys, you know, who still fight with a broken hand or a broken feet, you know, and they still continue. So, you know, when you watch
Vincent, I just want to point out very quickly, it's kind of funny that you're calling it soccer since over in Europe it's called football.
Football.
But, you know, just for the American, you know, just for the American filth that's there, that's rancid, I call it soccer.
I call it a really lame sport. I'm not too fond of soccer
honestly,
myself.
I think
I'm more of a women's volleyball fan myself.
Yeah, I might take some heat for that, but I think that most of these sports are a diversion of competition. So it's guys that didn't really want to fight that said, oh, well, let's find a way to compete without hurting each other, throwing a ball in a hoop, or who can jump over that line, who can do that. So it's kind of a diversion of the purest form of competition, which is fighting.
Yeah,
I can't really fault you on that, man.
No, I totally agree. But that's also the
you know what's actually wild about that? I mean, I feel like fighting can be a very easy thing to transition from one point to the next, because at any given moment, shit can get real. And I'm going to be honest. Still there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was getting.
Oh, I thought I lost you.
No
Playing peekaboo, I love it.
Yeah.
But like, to be honest, if a person is a fighter, they have a better mentality for like certain pressure situations. If someone's a basketball player, if you know, like if they're put in a situation where they have to save their life, it's like, all right, shoot a 3-point, saves your life. It's like, shit.
Exactly.
Not going to happen, dude.
You know, to be honest, you know, also the ego is different, you know, because of course, you know, all professional fighters, you know, such as yourself, you know, you have an ego, you know, you have to be, you know, you have to think, you know, I'm better than this guy, I'm going to beat this guy. But I mean, outside of that, you know, the nicest people that I have ever met, you know, were fighters, were people at the MMA gym, you know, because they are just so friendly. Because, you know, I think, and if you look at other sports, you know, as soccer, you know, they even hate on each other in their own team. I think, how can you hate, you know, you're in the same team together, don't hate on each other. You don't see that in an MMA gym, you know, you try to support each other.
Yeah, because we bleed together, bro. It's like the army. You bleed together. You go to war together. It's a bound, man. Fighting, there's a bound that can't be explained, and it's not like kicking a ball. It's not like throwing a ball or catching a frisbee. Man, you're going to war. You know, you have a lot of emotions you're living with with these guys. Even if your friend, you're not with him, he's fighting on TV, or you're in this corner, even worse, you know, or you're just in the hotel before the fight during fight week preparation. There's feelings that can't be explained that regular, like civilians or like soccer players or football players can't really understand.
Yeah. You know, by the way, my man, how much time do you have left?
I have time. I have time.
All right,
I mean,
then
it's up
don't
to you
worry.
guys. It's really up to you guys. I'm off right now for the day. I just got my massage and everything.
That's nice.
Vincent, we're gonna start breaking records. I got another 10 hours on my iPad. Let's do this.
Oh, maybe not 10 hours.
I'm kidding.
But talking about other stuff, you know, when I hear Firas Sahabi, talk about stuff, he also talks about the self-defense aspect, of MMA, and of jiu-jitsu. Do you think, if you look at MMA, do you think jiu-jitsu is the best martial art for self-defense, or do you think you also need the striking art?
Oof, man, it's a good question because we saw it in UFC 1, jiu-jitsu won everything, right? So, I mean, in a one-on-one situation with somebody, 80% of the time, jiu-jitsu is gonna be useful.
Yeah.
Like they say, 80% of fight finish on the ground, but 100% start standing up. So if I was to give my kid a self-defense class, I'd probably put him in jiu-jitsu because I know that you can kind of close the distance and you can kind of avoid striking. Yeah. You don't have to engage in a brawl. But if the guy grabs you, you can't avoid that. How are you going to avoid a guy grabbing you, even if it's standing or on the ground? Yeah, you can sprawl. But, even then, the guy's in your leg. And if the guy's a better jiu-jitsu guy, then he'll drop for a leg lock like Rance does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah.
I also love that,
I've seen me do it.
If I spar with a great kickboxer, because in the Netherlands, so many guys are great kickboxers, I'm spinning for that leg right away. I'm not gonna stand with him.
Exactly, and in most cases it works. Doesn't mean you're gonna take him down, but you're gonna actually get in the grappling exchange with him. Whether it's a clinch, it's 50-50, it's double underhooks. So yeah, I think that submitting people in jiu-jitsu, it's probably the most efficient because, man, you're choking the guy to death. Yeah. And what if you don't knock the guy out? What if you clip him, but the guy's still there standing, he's got a good chin. If you're choking him out, the guy's getting choked out.
Yeah, if somebody would ask my opinion on it, I would say, jiu-jitsu and grappling, if on two occasions, if you're one-on-one or if somebody has a weapon, like a baseball bat, you need to wrestle because you need to close that distance. You can't box a guy. But also another situation, if somebody is if it's somebody that is aggressive, but you're in control of the situation and you don't want to hurt the guy, for legal issues, it's better, to hold him down, instead of punching his face in.
Man, you're a good guy, Vincent.
Thank you.
I don't know about that.
Sometimes, but if it's for example, at my MMA gym, last, yesterday evening, we did some self-defense stuff, and then we spar with 4 guys against 1. It's not full contact. It's like that sparring, but then you really recognize, that you have to keep them in one line. You don't kick too much. You don't grapple. It's really punching, to get away, in real life.
Exactly.
And I think, so wrestling or jiu-jitsu mixed with boxing, I think that's the way to go for.
Yes, 100%. Boxing for me, for striking, boxing is my favorite because that's what people use mostly. But 4-on-1, I'd say sprinting is the best.
Yeah. Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
no, man, not sprinting.
Don't get me wrong.
Jog.
I mean, if you know jiu-jitsu, it's hard to, and you don't have the footwork, it's hard to escape some situations if you're cornered. But if you can grab the guy, or punch the guy, and move out of there, and then you can run.
Exactly.
I think footwork from boxing is the best footwork of any martial arts.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to angle and get out of there. Most street self-defense situations, I would try to run or get away either way because it's not worth it most of the time. But if somebody attacks me and I haven't got anywhere to go, it's going to be a bad night for him, for sure.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with you. But like with the jiu-jitsu stuff and so. Do you also at Tristar? Is Firas Sahabi? Does he also do privates with you all the time?
So it's a private class with the pros. He takes attention. He takes time with each single guy, depending on what. For example, working in a private with Firas would mostly be like him watching over your sparring. And for example, I'll send him the video of my guy. He'll watch the videos. He'll come in during the sparring. He'll make sure I act the way I have to act. I apply the strategy that we planned. You know what I mean? But apart from that, privates, I mean, he's gonna show the same moves to the same guys. TriStar, it's mostly about the talent pool, working with the good guys, and for us supervising and giving his tricks, his advice, teaching us his techniques, and then we use his techniques. You know, I mean, we could work in private, but at the same time, it's better for me to use the guys my weight around with his techniques.
But you also,
makes sense.
In group, in group lessons, if you, have a group with high level athletes, you also get this fire, this, you spar with so many people,
variety.
When you see, when you fight, in the ring, then, you've seen everything, in your sparring mates, every style. But
exactly.
Do you also, what is your, advice for, let's say I'm going to do my first MMA fight, I've done kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, but what is your advice for somebody that is going to do his first MMA fight?
So for your first MMA fight, man, I'm going to tell you something you're going to gas out, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Your cardio is going to be your biggest enemy, and it's going to be about how bad you want it. And it's not, there's not much you can do, bro. You're going to train. You're going to get ready for that fight. You're going to be ready. But obviously the nerves and everything from being your first fight is going to drain you. You're just going to have to stay in there and fight, man. Stand there and fight and go for it. That's pretty much it. On the first fight, it's really who wants it more, man. Really. Yeah.
That's great advice, my man. But that's also, I think, most of the nerves, never go away, I think. But
exactly. Most never go away. I still get a bit of nerves, but to be honest now, with the experience, man, I've been robbed a few split decisions. So what the hell do I care? I'm not going in there to win. I'm not going in there to lose. I'm going in there to whoop some ass. Yeah, and I think that's the best.
Here, man.
I also think, that's a great mentality to have. More people should have that. But that's also why I really think, you're going to be one of the greatest.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Rans, bro. I appreciate it, guys, man.
Not a problem. Very optimistic to see your next fight coming up, and it's going to be UAE, right?
UAW. UAE 13, Abu Dhabi Warriors, September 25th. You can catch it on UFC Fight Pass or on YouTube live stream. They're going to have a live stream for free. It's going to be around 12, in between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time in America. For you, Vincent, it's going to be at your fight time, nighttime.
Yeah, it's going to be, I have to watch every fight, at night, so don't worry. I'm used to it by now. But, that's amazing, And by the way, guys, if you want to follow Xavier, please do, please support him on Instagram. Please support him on YouTube, on YouTube, let's say, please support him on Instagram, watch his fights. He's going to be great, he's going to be big, so start following me now that you can say that you were one of the first guys to follow. All the links will be down in the description.
I can't wait to put on a show.
Hell yeah, dude.
You're gonna be put on the show, and you're gonna win. Though I have no doubt about it.
The Breadman cometh.
Rance, you know it.
Shall we do the speed route, Rance?
Absolutely. I thought you never asked, Vincent. I thought you never asked.
Xavier, we do this with everyone. we have kind of like this. We call it the speed round. We just ask rapid questions. You just have to answer them from the top of your head. Just right away. All right, Rance, you do the honors from the beginning.
All right, so this is a staple question for ChatCOMBAT. Is who would you rather fight in the streets, Jean-Claude Van Damme or Steven Seagal?
Steven Seagal.
Best answer ever, man. Everyone answers that.
If you could choose, to fight anyone, any weight class, it doesn't matter. Any fighter everywhere, which fighter would you want to fight, for like this super fight, like this legend fight?
Frankie Edgar.
Oh, that'd be slick.
I didn't expect that answer, but damn, that would be a hell of a
I was expecting Max Holloway, but I don't mind either way.
Yeah, I would also pick Max Holloway.
But all right, next question. All right, this is a two-parter. You are dropped off in a deserted island, which you get to choose which island. But second part of the question, what 5 items do you bring with you?
All right, Bora Bora. I'm bringing my PS5.
Ooh,
I'm bringing my gloves. I'm bringing a knife. I'm bringing gas. And I'm bringing a pair of pants.
That's actually not a bad call. I don't think anyone ever thinks to bring pants, but why'd you want to bring gas?
If you're on a deserted island, just go full nudity, my man. But
here's a volleyball, Wilson.
Yeah, no, the gas is just to light a fire, bro. Because I'm not much of a nature.
No problem.
So gotta make sure I'm able to light that fire. But I got no lighter. Shit.
You know, okay, Woes, you know, top 5 fighters you like, you know, to watch, you know, fights. Top 5, you know, if you had, you know, for what would be your super card? Which 5 fighters would you have to be on there?
For me to fight or to
to watch. You know, which 5 fighter
watch?
do you want to watch? You know, like the super card that you can just make up.
All right, I would like Vanderlei Silva in his prime.
Ooh.
I would like right now. I would say, funny or not, I would like to see Borrachina. All right, because he's an animal.
Okay.
Because he's an animal. I would like to see George do a comeback. I would like Khabib, of course, and and why not McGregor so they can fight again?
Yeah, you know, let's you know, we really need GSP versus Khabib at 170, in my opinion.
Yeah,
bring
170 is the only
GSP
way.
back. Absolutely,
He will not make 155 or 160.
No.
Right?
You know that would be horrible. You know, his performance would be.
He cannot. 170 is the only way that is happening.
But you know, Khabib is big enough. You know,
yes, of course.
he's huge. You know,
he must be this tall to fight GSP. Just saying.
Yeah. All right.
Not saying Khabib's short.
Rance, next question. Do you have another
question? Okay, this is a real challenging one. Not gonna lie to you, man. Perfect peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You get to choose the bread first off, but do you do strawberry or grape?
Well, I get ciabatta with strawberry.
Ooh, good call. Very nice. No one ever expects that one. Just saying.
And that peanut butter better be natural. You know, that brown Kraft peanut butter.
Nah, man, almond butter all the way, dude.
Yeah, almond, of course. But you said peanut butter. Yeah, almond butter.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
All right. You know, is there a country that you still want to visit? And if yes, you know, which country is it?
To fight in a country?
Yeah, to fight.
Man,
you know,
I fought everywhere.
Visit a train.
I would like to maybe fight in Australia or Japan.
Japan is also
Japan
nice.
first. Japan first.
Australia is that one right there, I believe.
Yeah, that one
It's
right
actually
there.
convenient. I have this map now.
You know,
honestly, I think the coolest one to check out would probably be the one on the border.
You know,
it's not printed because of weird issues. I don't know. South Pole. Yeah.
But you know,
seriously, fucked up that it doesn't exist on that map.
Yeah.
But you know, they say that Japan has one, if not the best crowd ever. You know, they say that people are so loving for the fighters.
They're educated.
Yeah. You know, it's you know, it's weird to watch. You know, because it's so silent. And then when one fighter gets hit with a hard shot, you know, then they all raise up and then they go soft again.
Yeah.
You know, Rance, do you have a question?
Crowd.
Do you have another question?
All right, so I'm not sure if Vincent has any more questions. This is my last speed round question for you. Can we expect you back on ChatCOMBAT?
Of course, guys. Anytime.
Absolutely. Best answer ever, bro.
You know, I also have a question. You know, it's kind of like the same because, you know, I would like, you know, to have you together with Nick Drosers maybe, you know, on a ChatCOMBAT if you would like that.
Yes, man. We'll set it up. I'll talk with Nick. Nick is in quarantine right now. He just came back from training.
I heard that.
You know, oh, yeah, that's right.
I chatted with him. You know, he was like, you know.
He was in Boston?
Yeah, he was in Boston, but indeed, he was in quarantine. Indeed, you know, he was, you know, I'm going to be on his show next week, he said. And then he's also going to be probably next week on our show, but we'll see.
Yes, amazing.
You know, but, you know, that's the end of the speed round, you know, and the end of the interview, I think. You know, I really wanted, you know, to wish you good luck for your fight. You know, you don't need it, but anyway, good luck, you know.
Put him in a body bag!
Guys, you know,
I will,
zip
boys.
it up
Thank
so it doesn't let any odor
you know,
out.
Great energy from you guys.
You know,
Thank you very much,
you know, do you want to say something to the viewers? You know, maybe something you want to share, or, you know, maybe your social media that you want to share?
Yeah, well, you know what, guys? September 25th, I said it again. I'm putting this guy out. Follow me on Xavier MMA to keep all the details and to keep up on track with it. And it's gonna be a barn burner, man. I'm going in there and I'm going for that finish. You know, that's what I want to do.
He's gonna be big, guys. You know, follow him on anywhere. You know. Let's
burn that barn down.
Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you for
but
being
let's make
here.
sure the animals are out of it first. We want to be humane.
You know, thank you, my man. You know, have a good one. You know, and again, thank you for being on.
Same. Thank you, boys.